This is a story of a man named Stan. Stan lived in a place far away from any trace of civilization, a place that could only be described by one thing: mud. As you see, Stan is a pig. Stan is not a human being, never was one for that matter. But I introduced him as one because that's Stan's biggest dilemma in life: identity. But before I elaborate, let me introduce you to a very important person. The year is 1967, the year when Hanzo, a robot from Mars, took on a new challenge, a challenge that he had stored in mind for a while, a challenge that had always felt a little bit heavy. The challenge is to recruit a human being for the annual soda drinking tournament, someone he could entrust with the ability to win without any question. But why? Why is Hanzo that set to find someone that could win? Well, the annual soda drinking tournament has been a customary practice for decades, and it had always been run by Hanzo's family. And he intends to respect his family's heritage by keeping it alive. So he packs up his bags and sets off on a new journey. But little did he know that that journey was going to change the trajectory of his life and others. Meanwhile, Stan is doing his mandatory and expected labor. He's using his snout to root through the soil, searching for roots, bulbs, and other edible items. And for years and years, Stan had earned his father's respect by doing his mandatory labor without any question. But that day, something was different. That day, Stan took one big look at his life and realized the irony of everything. How he'd been a slave for years and years on end, how he'd used his snout without ever questioning it, and how he's sick of searching for edible items. This moment of realization was the start of everything. Stan finished his day's work and got back to his puddle of mud and started reflecting on his life. The only thing he knew is that he had a passion for drinking soda, but had no idea what to do with it. He started thinking of his options and realized that he only has three. Option 1. He could offer his soda drinking services to different soda companies, like the very famous company Sosa Sola, and be a reviewer of some sort. Option 2. He could start his own personal soda drinking brand, but that wouldn't be very applicable, since he lives in a place where no one knows how to do anything except use their snouts. And option 3, he could wait for a miracle, something or someone to come and offer him a helping hand that would solve all his earthly problems. Stan began feeling anxious, overwhelmed, doubtful even. He knew that he had to pick an option, he just didn't know which one to pick. But as smart as he is, he decided to not let his anxiety and his doubts dictate his actions. He knew that he had to be risk-averse, and that whatever happens, he should never, ever let his father know of his plans, because if he did, none of them would see the light of day. Days go by, and Stan makes himself a well-constructed plan and routine. He would wake up every day, and before doing anything else, he would finish his day's work. And only then that he would take a couple of hours of his day mastering the craft of soda drinking, until the end of the day, when he would start emailing soda companies to offer his expertise. So he settled for option 1, but still had hope for option 3. At the same time frame, Hanzo had arrived to Earth safely and embarked on his adventure of looking for talented people. He didn't know where to begin, so he started heading to soda companies with hopes that the owners would allow him to look for people in their field. And for 6 months, Hanzo kept looking for people, while Stan has been going through his daily routine, day after day, failure after failure, without even a single glimmer of hope, a flicker of light at the end of the tunnel, or an atom of progress to hold on to, until a decisive fork in the road appeared. They were both at the lowest. They lost every shred of hope they had, and they were faced with 2 options. They could either give up entirely, surrendering to a life of mediocrity and disappointment, one of them to himself and the other to his authority figure, or they could continue. Even though everything is telling them otherwise. No owner is allowing Hanzo to recruit one of their employees, and no company is replying to Stan, neither do miracles seem to exist in his world. And it was this that showed us the merit of their character. It was here that they've both decided that their journey is not going to end like this. They both continued and didn't give up hope. The stars have aligned, and fate had been tampered with. Stan emailed one more company, applied for one more internship. An employee had been touched by Stan's email. He felt his passion through his words, his love through his message, and decided to show it to the owner, whom later decided to offer this kid an interview, because he had felt something different from all the other emails. While coincidentally, Hanzo had a meeting with the same owner at the day of the interview. Comes the promised day. Hanzo is sitting in the waiting room, waiting for the owner, and beside him sits Stan. Hanzo never saw a pig in a place like this, so he couldn't help but ask him if he was working at this company, to which he replied, telling him his story. Hanzo was surprised. He never saw a person this passionate about soda drinking before, let alone a pig. He saw the sparks in his eyes, the love he embodies for the craft of soda drinking, and couldn't let him go, even though he knew that he's an amateur compared to seasoned soda drinking athletes. He had something none of them had: passion and unwavering dedication. Hanzo reviewed his options, and how he'd been faced by failure after failure in looking for the perfect candidate, and realized that he would never find someone like Stan, and decided to roll the dice on him. He offered Stan a place in the soda drinking tournament, which if won, would set him and his family up for life. Stan's eyes widened. Memories of late nights and countless sacrifices hit him like a truck. All of what he did wasn't for nothing. It all paid off in the end. The adrenaline rush was real. But all that was cut by the thought of his father. And now he would have to tell him that he's quitting the family business of using his snout to look for food and going on his own journey. But he didn't hesitate in accepting Hanzo's offer, and got ready for the inevitable confrontation. Stan goes right to his dad's puddle and tells him what he had been doing for the past 8 months, and that he got an invitation from this dude Hanzo to participate in a soda drinking tournament. His dad was shocked. Never in his life would he imagine such betrayal, and from his own son. He's leaving all what they've worked for to chase a fairy tale such as soda drinking. The first thing that came out of his mouth was, "Stan, we're pigs. We don't drink soda. We search for food with our snouts. This is not us, and neither would you be good at it." Stan told him that he was not put on this earth just to search for food and sleep in the mud. He was made for more than that, and would not let anything stop him from chasing something bigger. He's not just a pig, he's what he chooses to be, and told his dad that with all due respect to him and the family business, this is not him. His dad didn't know what to say. He couldn't deny him his freedom, so he told him to go, with only disappointment shown in his face. Mourning the years he spent training his son, the loss he just experienced after years and years of wanting the family business to be his heritage. Stan had nothing to say. He shouldered his bag, said goodbye to his dad and his family, and met Hanzo to be the first ever pig to drink soda in outer space. Hi, yeah, this is me. I'm very passionate about this kind of stuff you're seeing right now. So if you enjoyed this, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel, and tell me what you thought in a comment. This really helps and it boosts the algorithm. It will really make me happy, and thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.